guys, it's Herbivore Beauty. Welcome back to my channel. I would be surprised if this video honestly made it out to my channel because I think I've refilmed this video in particular like a half a dozen times. I've had this question asked to me, I think, I don't even know how many times because I've been trying to film it since Bali, so like February. And I've just I haven't gotten around to actually editing it and making sure that it's exactly the way I want it to be. But basically my most asked question has been, how do you travel so much? And to be honest, I just wanted to give you guys my full on experience. I maybe will drop a few tips in here and there, but I found it kind of hard to make this video because I know everybody has such different experiences when it comes to just the way they live their life, and mine is going to be completely different than everybody else's. So I just want to share what I do specifically, what I did, how I got to where I am right now, so that you guys can sort of have a ballpoint for yourself and just see how other people get to where they are. So basically, I guess I'm going to start from a few years back. I dropped out of college after my first year, and I was originally taking special events management. I wanted to plan weddings because I love, but I just wasn't down for being in school. I just really wasn't feeling it. I don't know, I just didn't have the good college experience that I really wanted to, and so I decided to leave. I was still living in Toronto at the time, but I just wasn't able to save money, just because if you know, Toronto is super expensive, and I just wasn't getting enough shifts at work, and I knew I really wanted to save for traveling because I thought it would be really cool. And so when I first dropped out, I went to California because I was I have no money, might as well have even less money. And that was my first sort of solo travel trip at the beginning, and then I met up with some of my friends later on. And I'm sorry, this lighting is gonna get really weird. It's really cloudy and stuff today, but hopefully the sun comes back, and the wind has just been bad, so hopefully that doesn't ruin my video either. But so I went to California for, I don't know, a week and a half or 2 weeks maybe, and first half of my trip was in San Diego. I traveled alone. Second half I was meeting up with all my vegan friends from the internet because who doesn't want to meet up with our internet friends? And that's when I realized I sort of really wanted to travel. And so I moved back home to Ottawa with my family, got a full-time job, so I was already saving that money in retrospective of rent, because that is probably my main sort of expense that I would have. So after being able to move in with my family, saved so much money with that, got a full-time job, saved so much money with that, but I was really unhappy with that job, so I think I didn't last a summer there. I ended up going and finding a vegan job, I guess. I was working at a vegan bakery, and I told them straight off the bat when I was in my interview that I was planning a trip to Costa Rica. I was going to be gone for a month, so they could I don't know, decide if they still wanted to keep me on or not, and they hired me, so I was pretty happy. Costa Rica, I would consider that my first actual solo travel trip, because that was a month long. It was completely alone, in the middle of the jungle. I don't know why I just felt so bold enough to go there on my own, but I did, and it ended up being one of the best experiences, hands down, of my life. I just had so much fun there, and it's what made me realize that travel was truly what I wanted to do for ever and ever. So when I came home, that's exactly when I started to look for a remote position, and I have an entire video dedicated to that. And a lot of you guys who are probably watching this video right now, you've told me that you've watched that video a million times, and you just wanted to figure out how exactly I got my remote position. And honestly, everything was just falling in line as soon as I came home from Costa Rica. I was looking for remote positions on and off, but it wasn't super I need to get it, I need to get it. I knew it would happen, and I was grateful that at least at the time I still had a job. I enjoyed who I worked with, so that made it a little bit easier for me to keep going. But if you guys know me personally, you would know that I literally hate winter. Every single winter I have made it my goal to leave because I do not handle the cold well at all. It just makes me unhappy, and I don't like being cold. I don't know anybody who does, but apparently living in Canada, people actually do. So I knew that it was my goal to just at least not be here for winters if I could do anything. And so while I was still looking, I ended up finding this position for another vegan company because I was specifically looking to keep the trend going and keeping up with a vegan establishment because it's where my beliefs are at. And yeah, I ended up finding one on, what was the company called? It was either like Mainstream Vegan Jobs or like a remote vegan online job site, and I will link my video down below for that so that you guys can see specifically. But yeah, I found that job. My boss ended up being from Ottawa. Well, both of them, they were both from Ottawa. They had seen me back at the vegan bakery that I used to work at, and so it was really nice to be able to smoothly transition into that position. And so getting an online job was probably one of the main reasons why I'm able to travel so much, just because I literally don't have to take time off work in order to keep on traveling. And so as soon as I got that position, I stayed home, saved so much money because, again, I got to take off like that transportation expense. So no more paying for the bus or paying for gas when I'm driving. I literally could just stay home or like walk to a coffee shop if I wanted and work away, and that would be it. And also I get so tempted when I'm at vegan places to buy vegan food. So I didn't have that because I was working from home, so I could literally just cook by myself. Yeah, so I think my first trip with my online position I took was probably to Brooklyn, and then after that I would stay home, save a bunch of money before I went to Thailand for a couple of months, and I got my yoga teacher certification down there. And then my bosses paid for a trip for our team to Bali, so I stayed down there for a month. And then I went to Colombia right after that, and then I was in Miami and Tampa and Atlanta and California. So I've just been taking advantage of not having to be in one place at one time because I can. And so I think definitely the biggest reasons for this is because I was able to move home and save some money there, and then I was also able to find this online position. And honestly, because I made travel my priority, I guess I'll start like giving tips now because I do have a few written down because I wanted to help y'all out. Because I know that a lot of you guys might not be in the same position where you could just pick up and move back home, or you live too far away from your family, or you just don't want to move back home. I met a lot of people while traveling who either rented their spaces out as like a sublet or onto Airbnb, or something along those lines, just so that they could cover their main expense through that way while they were like out in the world. And a few other things that I picked up along the way for myself is that since I don't go out a lot, I tend to like really like isolate myself when I am saving for traveling. And that's one thing that I learned not to do, because you sort of get into this frame of mind where you're always looking forward to your next trip and not really being present. And I really struggled with that, and especially during the winter time, and I was just like, oh, escapism, like I can't wait to be like anywhere else. And I was always just in that frame of mind where I can't wait until this time, I can't wait until this time, I can't wait until this time. So I definitely recommend still keeping a hobby that maybe might be a little bit cheaper but will still help you feel good in the present moment, so that you're not constantly worried about your next trip or constantly anticipating your next trip, because that honestly just makes you feel a little shitty sometimes, just because you feel like you have nothing else to live for except for travel. For me personally, now that I sort of have like that work-life travel balance where I feel like I can also enjoy my time, save some money, not splurge when I know I don't need to, put half my paycheck aside for traveling, and also, be able to enjoy traveling when I do travel. I feel as though it's important to find your own balance. I just feel like it was really important to share my experience, just because you don't see very many Black travelers, you don't see very many Black female solo travelers, Black vegan female solo travelers. So it's like, I know there are a lot of people, or a lot of Black women who do reach out to me, and a lot of vegans who do reach out to me asking me what it's like and how I'm able to keep up with it consistently. I do think that it is important to pick up different tips that work for you, just because Everybody has a different experience. Since getting an online job, I've learned to budget a lot more just because as an independent contractor, I get paid once a month. So that means I have to plan out my expenses for the entire month if I want to do it correctly and make sure that I have enough money to last me the whole month without dipping into my travel funds or my savings or my money set aside for taxes. So it's like being able to prioritize your funds and making sure that you still enjoy your time. You're still not completely cutting yourself off from enjoying your life. But anyways, I think that is everything that I want to share with you guys. If you did have any questions, you can leave it down below, or you can DM me on Twitter or on Instagram, and I should be able to answer them. Or I will make a specific Q&A travel video so I can answer more like specific questions. But that was everything. I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you for being patient with me while I didn't post all these months, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.